Hey everybody, welcome back to Carside Chat. We finally got our first guest in-house here. It's been kind of a beating for me to get somebody in-house, to be honest. We set this thing up and then it was like we ended up kind of putting stuff back.
Yeah.
But I have with me today Matteson of Untamed. You're going to go over your Toys for Tots event that you have coming up, right, at 1170?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
And crazy that you're saying it was hard to get somebody in here. I feel like this would be even better.
Right.
Get somebody in here right away.
I think it's about commitment.
That's it.
Because that's the thing is it's very difficult to be like, yeah, I got the time to do this, and then suddenly it's I don't have the time to do this anymore.
Right.
So,
well, I've noticed a lot of people seem to be getting under the weather right around the time that they have to be doing something.
Right.
You know,
exactly.
It's crazy how that happens.
Right.
I've seen it often.
But anyway, so yeah, just as a reminder, I'm your host, VIPPrimo, and I have the lovely Jen over here on the desk doing my production stuff for me today. She'll probably not turn on the mic and say hello to everybody. Yeah, I had a feeling she wouldn't turn on the mic.
That is that.
Hello.
Okay, that was what. Yeah, that's maybe the mic. Did you turn the mic off? The mic's off, isn't it? Look up on the top of it.
It's on.
It's on up? Okay, go ahead, turn it.
Hello.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, you're live now. There you go. That mic went right down. That volume. Did you see that volume drop? She was like, hey, how's it going? Bye. But yeah, no, she's doing a great job of production. I've had her testing some stuff out. She's still got some things to learn, but don't we all?
Absolutely.
So,
that is very true.
But yeah, so tell me a little bit about this event we got going on here.
So, yeah, Toys for Tots 2021. Mm-hmm. Crazy to even think that we're saying it is going on after 7 years. I mean, it's quite a staple, I guess, with Untamed at this point.
Right.
It's kind of the first big event we ever did many years ago at this point now. Big lots in Warwick. It feels like it was yesterday,
wow.
But a long time ago. And it was a great event. We had a great turnout, and it turned into a yearly event. Funny enough, and it all started. I always say the same story. It always started with my buddy Jeff. He was taking a ride with me. We were just cruising around, and it was just kind of like, what could we do that's not really being done? And that was something he had come up with. It was really just something that came out of nowhere, and we ran with it. And here we are, 7 years later, getting ready to do it again this coming Sunday, November 7th. It's from 10 to 3 at 1170 Bald Hill Road, which is also Detail Garage, Warwick. So going to be a good time, and it'll be our second year doing it there. And looking forward to seeing the turnout. I
just find it funny, and I think about this back now. So we've done, I don't know how many events I've done in my lifetime, probably millions at this point. But I go back to events, and I think about the stuff we've done, and I think about really the lack of charity that we've had over time.
Very true.
You know,
I think it all comes down to, unfortunately, like you were just saying, that commitment. You know, even people coming in to do something in the studio or make a show together. It's just really, unfortunately, that's what I think the biggest issue is. A lot of people enjoy saying that they're going to go and do something good, but actually showing up is the difference maker. Yeah. And a lot of times, even like last year to this year, and it's no disrespect to the people that were left off of it, but there were a lot of people last year who wanted to be on Toys for Tots, and I'd say unfortunately, a good 25-30% of them didn't show up. So when you have that happen the following year, it's all about finding people that are going to be committed to showing up and making those donations.
Why do you think they didn't show up?
I mean, I'm not saying that some of them probably didn't have true reasons of why they didn't go. I mean, also last year, I know that, the COVID stuff was a little bit more hard hitting than we are in this point now. Things have gone into a different direction. And I believe that that's been part of the problem, but also some of the reason in just going out in general. A lot of people were so used to being in their homes at that point and staying in them. I think that it really brought a lot of people to that, like, okay, am I really going to go out to this today? There's supposed to be a large crowd. Am I going to show up? Do I want a chance being sick or getting sick? But I say the same thing to people every year. I mean, whether it's the common cold, the flu, whatever it may be, surrounding yourself in large groups of people and touching hands and stuff is always going to be a cause of sick. But
we started off this year so well.
Oh, right.
We started off with this, there's one thing that we had was this traction that kind of happened. So as the year came on, a lot of people were, not only were they choked out from the year before, but we really started off this year with a lot of stuff starting,
right.
And then there was kind of this false hope because we were down to like, basically, I want to say triple digit numbers, like in the hundreds, or
right.
Even sometimes lower. Like I think there was one day where it was like 0 people died for a week or something like that. So a lot of people did kind of run into it, like, hey, this is it, we got it, and we got that traction. And then as the year progressed, we started to see these numbers climb, and I did start to see these events kind of keel off. And obviously, weather was a factor too.
Oh, right,
but that's
absolutely.
the thing is how do we build this? People don't understand how much the holiday season becomes such a traumatic time for a lot of people, especially people who are, needy or people who are suffering. And it's one of those times when we should be the strongest, but it's also a time when guys are putting their cars behind. Like I know, I think you've got your car away except for this one event. Yeah. I've got mine basically tied up, and like I'm looking for places to store it for the winter, or say, here's the work I want done while it's down.
Right.
But that's the thing is I want to try to hit a couple more things before we kind of close that door.
Well, not to say that there's not a ton of other events going on. There's definitely a bunch. But if anybody is looking for something to do over these next few Sundays, obviously this Sunday coming, we have our Toys for Tots. Right. The following Sunday, Team Diablo, Rhode Island, and Massachusetts, their car clubs and groups are coming together to do an event for charity together. Nice. So that's going to be another one.
We got another thing going on, and that's going to be on Sunday. So we're actually both doing 2 different Toys for Tots events.
Oh, that's right.
I have a friend that is a very dear friend of mine. I have been dreading this moment for a very long time. He's probably going to be moving back to Greece, and
really,
he's been a staple. Like he used to have a Porsche. A lot of times people don't realize. So you guys see videos, and you see videos of cars, and you don't really identify the car with the person like we do. We know the people. And the other thing is they'll end up buying different cars. A lot of those old Porsche videos of, I want to say it was a 996 or something like that, like he drove the wheels off this car. So we go out to events, and here I'm like, all of my early stuff, you're going to see a Porsche, and he's driving it like everybody else is like, these guys in the old Ferraris, like the 360 guys. Yeah. You're like, those are the guys that make all those. Nah, he just kind of put. But when my guy went out there, he was like, I don't care what it is, the wheels are getting burnt off, right? And that was the guy everybody looked up and was like, that's my guy.
Yep.
And he was the guy. Whatever we event, and a lot of people would be like, oh, he can't do that. I'm like, yes, he can. Please let him do that, because it really brought life back to us. And that's the thing is that he owns, I think it's the North End Diner up north. And I've missed every one of his Toys for Tots ever since he started. I always try to get a toy to it or some kind of support to it because his support in the community has been huge. He owns an Aventador, I think SVJ now. So he's got a white one. It's a crazy nice car, but he works so much that we hardly ever see him. And he has a son too that has, if you've ever seen that big wide body BMW, I forgot the name of the kid. I want to say it was like Hammond or something, but it's not. But it's this big name brand. And it's probably one of the most notable BMWs around. He's just as busy, so we barely get to see him. So like you said, he just got a Ferrari F430, and his dad says, that's it. I think he's gonna kick it all off and just take a move back. I don't know if that's supposed to be inside information, but let's just put it like this: everybody knows it. Everybody I talk to says, I think this is gonna be the last one.
Yeah, well, it's out there now. If
right, exactly.
Now it's so be on the lookout.
Right. So I told him, I said I'm not missing this one. I'm gonna take the drive up, and it's like, I think from here it's like 2 hours. It's right up northern Mass. Yeah. So we're gonna have a little show. What
I was thinking of is, like I was saying to you before, I can do like a screen record of us having a
I think it's
conversation, a video chat of both events going on. We'll obviously put it up after the events have come to a close at the end of the day. But it'll be nice for people to see, and just something different. You know what I mean?
It kills me that this is what's happened to me all year. It was feast or famine kind of thing,
right?
And now it's a choice between would you like the turkey or would you like the chicken? And it's like there's 2 nice things that are like gourmet meals, and it's like, do I go to 1170, which is going to be an amazing event? I'm sure that house is going to be packed with awesome cars. You guys if you're a Skyline fan, you need to go to that event. That's just don't miss it, right? And then the other thing is now I got that event, so it's like I got to go to this. I got to support my friend, and I keep missing stuff because of this thing's meshing. Right. So it put me in
it happens.
Right.
And you know what? With the way that things have been going now, and especially kind of how you were saying with the way the year started, I feel like it was such an overabundance of shows, meets, cruises, because now all these people were trying to get out and do something that, it's been going on for a while. Plus a lot of new clubs as well. I mean, it happens every year, but I got to say, I think between this year that has just gone by and last year,
I'm going to go back to that too.
Tons of clubs.
But this year I get to have my cake and eat it too, and thank you for that. So we'll get two supports. So you know what? When you guys see it, I don't know how we're going to put it live or whatever. But
well, that was the thing is I don't think I'll be able to put it live at that moment. So what I would be doing is I would just basically be we could do a video chat with each other. I'm going to screen record it. Hopefully the quality will uphold.
Yeah, they don't care. They just want to see cars. Are you kidding?
And so hopefully we can get that up. If not right after the call is over, that very second. If not, it would maybe be after the event is over, and then that's when I go through my madness of uploading, all these things. Which also I got to say is it's very nice, and I appreciate it every year. To anybody out there that's watching, listening, the amount of people that take photos, videos, that tag that they are there, that put that word out there,
that's
all day
huge.
Long, it helps a lot, because there are so many people that get reached through social media, and it's a crazy power. It's a gift and a curse, but it's very, very helpful when you're trying to give back and reach so many people to get there and get out and donate. And even comes back to that whole thing we're talking about. It doesn't matter to me. I mean, nobody has to come with $100 worth of toys or a $100 toy. I'd rather you show up. If you're bringing a couple Hot Wheels, if you're bringing anything at all, we appreciate it. All it has to be is a new item, not wrapped as far as wrapping paper, still new in the box, but not wrapped. And as long as it's for the age group, I believe it goes from anywhere from 3 years old up to 17 or 18.
I'm going to make another suggestion. And this is, I think, the biggest suggestion. I think you'll totally agree with me on this, okay? So when you go to these events, I do want you to bring your car, and I do want you to bring a toy. I do want you to be able to support the community and be the positive influence that I know everybody wants to be. But one thing that I think that everybody should bring with you is I don't want you stuck in a corner just talking to your clique, talking to your friends.
Absolutely.
I want you to go out there. If you don't know Matt, I want you to go find him and go shake his hand and talk to him. The biggest thing about this, and people look at me all the time, and I know we just had this conversation with somebody else about basically having somebody troll you or be a toxic community or all this negative stuff. And the thing is that the people who are negative do not come up and say hi. They're not the people that are interested. If you're really interested in destroying somebody's event, you're not going to go up to somebody and shake hands with them and know who they are. And it makes life not only so much easier for us as a community, because now our bonds are getting tighter, but you start seeing how much that supports you as an event host, as an event attendee. That's how we make these events strong, because
Absolutely.
we all know each other. Even if I just know you by your car, it goes both ways.
Right. And the only thing I do also want to say with that is to anybody that does attend that, attends our Toys for Tots that day, anybody coming out, if I don't speak to you, if I haven't said hello, if I haven't come up to you, or if, just whatever's going on throughout the day.
Oh, he'll be so busy, it'll be like this.
It's one of those things where, unfortunately, I do say it to everybody, Cars and Coffee is always a little bit of a different story, because it's more of a laid back and relaxed event, in the sense that we don't, always fill up the parking lot. Maybe the first couple events of the year, last couple of events of the year, people really want to make sure that they get to them before they're done for the season, or they want to make that first one. So yeah, we do have some pretty packed houses occasionally, but when it comes to the Toys for Tots, obviously between parking, getting people in and out of there, directing people to where the toys are going to be, left or dropped off, and all these other little things that coincide with it. It's just it's never a disrespectful thing. It's never a rude thing. If I haven't gotten around to you, or if we haven't been able to have a 15-20 minute conversation that day, it's just strictly because I'm running around trying to keep everything.
I think what he's saying is he'll talk to you later, or is that don't call me, I'll call you kind of thing? I don't know how that's going.
Absolutely.
I now feel offended after I went to the last event. No, I'm kidding. Like, hey, I'm your buddy. What are you doing? Like, I'm busy. Okay,
Also,
cool.
one other thing too is I know I've had a few people ask about it, and as far as it goes with the sponsorships, if anybody's ever looking to get on it for the coming years or anything like that, the only thing that we ever ask is just bringing out people who are willing to donate. I would be so happy if somebody said, I'd love to be a sponsor, and all they did was say they bring, 10, 15 people with them, and each one of those, people donates a toy. And that's all that I'm looking for. I'm not looking for people to pay into it or anything like that. It's funny when you have people that message you and they're like, oh, so how much do I have to, pay to be a sponsor? It's like, oh, God,
we're car dudes.
Yeah,
like, it's so bad. Yeah.
And don't get me wrong. There are some times where it would be nice if people were, putting in some type of cash towards something. But, for events like that, it's a whole different side of things. When it comes down to the true charity work and donating, that's all that matters is you showing up and donating.
That's one thing I loved about the especially 1170 group. Or I don't know, do they want to be called Detail Garage now or 1170 or is it their choice?
Well, so as far as I understand through this through the events, I believe it is going to go through Detail Garage from here on out.
Yeah, that's what I was
as far
thinking.
as it goes. It's still I still promote 1170 Designs, and huge shout out to them. Dave and Jenny have always been great to the group. I mean, I cannot say anything bad for the amount of places that we have been, and not to say that any of them were bad. Unfortunately, for some people who don't know, we had Cars and Coffee at Dunkin' Donuts on West Shore Road in Warwick for the longest time, right over by Dunkin' Donuts and TD Bank, Dave's Market, all in that little vicinity, if you know where I'm talking. And the issue that we had was they are putting in curbside stones and like all the sidewalk, like the dividers and stuff. They put it into the parking lot because I believe there's a new business that's going to be going in over there. For the longest time, people said it was going to be a KFC. I don't think that is the case now, but there is the bar where we used to park more so behind them to stay out of Dunkin's lot, but Dunkin owns the whole property. They were great to us. The manager over there, she was always great to us, and we more so moved out of there and made 1170 the new home because it just made things even that much easier. Now you had, unfortunately, Cars and Coffee, there's no more Dunkin' next door, but you can still get your coffee on your way in. You can get actually coffee and breakfast from Sonic. Not saying that that you have to, but it's there. And it's still a good time. So, and being in a parking lot that's car based and a car enthusiast place where you're going there for that reason, I think it even makes it that much more for people to show up because now they can go in, they can get their tire shine, their interior cleaner, and all these other things, and they enjoy the time that they spend there.
Well, that's the thing I was saying too, is that I'm gonna say DLTL Garage from now on, but that was the thing is that when talking to them, a lot of people will look at events like this, or they'll look at people and they kind of put it in the aspect of, well, this is for your business or this is for this, and sure, could there be some business out of this? I'm sure there will be. I'm sure they'll put some discounts out there. But I can assure you that their focus or their clear, concise thinking is that they are focused on that charity. They're focused on that idea of thing. And they are, people would be shocked to know how much they actually sacrifice to get to that side of things. And that's, they are not somebody that's new to the car world. They've been into it for a very long time. It's just finally they've turned this into a business. And I think they really, like doing the trainings for detailers, that's something that we've been adding to Executive Automotive Society to kind of say, hey, there's a lot of people out there that goes, hey, how do I afford this? We got Justin down here that was just been on our show. He's been doing it for a couple of years. Finally got his stuff together. And now he bought a Viper. You have these other guys.
I saw that actually. Yeah.
Right. How many detailers and these guys that kind of started off on that low foot side of it? And that's the thing. How many guys go to these self-help videos and go out here and go, oh, what? I'm gonna do this thing where I'm gonna invest and make a square page or something, or some guy over there that gets $20,000 for you to say, hey, I'm gonna do this positive thinking thing that never pans out. While you have something like that and you go to a show you sit in it for 2 or 3 days, and now you know how to detail.
Right.
Now, I mean, you're going to learn stuff along the way.
Right. And also hands-on. I mean, hands-on is
Right.
20 times better every
Yeah.
time. And also, too, I mean, with no throwing shade or anything, but for people with the YouTube videos, I understand you have to start somewhere with things. You know what I mean? So sometimes people are just looking for information. They're looking for knowledge.
Yeah.
The only problem, I think, is that a lot of times, and I'm not going to say everybody, but some people watch YouTube videos and they have just this idea about it that they are now a professional, that they now have all the answers. And unfortunately,
Think
it's not
about
the
how many.
case.
It's the thing is this from what I've done, because when I first got into this, everybody says, go. YouTube's an easy process. Just go right to it, get all the stuff. And the thing is I still think from a standpoint of being. From standpoint of being a positive, ideal thinker, like there's certain things where I watch a video in the morning and I say, I'm going to listen to this music or I'm going to listen to this speech, and those things are going to get me motivated in the morning. But today, every time I play that, there's a commercial in front of it for some guy that's like, I'm going to give you $1,000 to go to some talk thing, and they don't have any content. It started off, I think, in a positive way. But it's now become something where it's just pure manipulation. It's the idea of getting you addicted to going back to this stuff to never get anywhere. And that's the thing that I want to teach people is it's not about just learning. You spend those 2 minutes on that thing to learn it. But if I had gone and said, hey, I'm going to continue to learn videos on YouTube, and this is how to do a podcast, and this is how to do a radio show.
Right.
I'd still be watching the videos if I had it the way they were doing it. We'd never be sitting in here saying, hey, by the way, we can get our voices out to the world and, try to change stuff. I mean, I hope in my dream, my vision for the future of the car community is to kill the word toxic and say, how many of you guys are running the Toys for Tots? Which one of you guys now we get on our radio thing, or we get on our little thing. You turn your phone on that November day, and you go, okay, I don't just have Primo. I've got, somebody from New Jersey, somebody from New York, somebody from Virginia, somebody from Florida, somebody from California. Obviously, their weather will be nice. But we're up here shivering, and they're like,
you can have our Toys for Tots out there right in December with no problem.
We're moving.
And the worst part is too, and just because my grandfather lived in Vegas for many years. It's so funny after you get, acclimated to it out there. Yeah. You got these people out there, they're like, oh my God, it was cold today. It hit 72 degrees.
Oh God.
I said, what?
The thing that
72 degrees. I'm over here going, wondering if I can even go outside without my eyelids getting frozen shut.
Right. Well, the thing is so I'm from Virginia, which moving up here was not, there was like, you don't ever saw snow. I'm like, yes, we saw snow. But when we got up here,
It's different, yeah, of course.
It was kind of like it wasn't a big deal for me. And I'd go out, like these guys were like, oh, yeah, summer this. And I'm in the middle of winter with shorts on and a shirt, and they didn't get it, right? Well, when we went back to Florida, it was kind of the inverse because their days get really hot. And I'm going to sleep at night, and my thing is set to like, what's the temperature of a refrigerator? Is what the AC I want.
Yep.
We had that on the other show the other day too, where somebody was like, yeah, it was so cold that like there's frost forming on the windows.
Yeah, yeah.
And they had their AC set to 80, and I'm sitting there like I'm dying. I'm like, it's under the fan, it's hot. And they were like, yeah, this is the comfortable temperature. I'm like, I'm fine. Virginia, Massachusetts, yeah, I'm good. Like, you guys have your cold days. I'll go out the last one, we just dropped temp recently, and it's freezing outside, and I'm outside in my shorts and my T-shirt. She's, Jen's looking at me like, you're nuts. Right?
But see, that's the biggest problem we've always had, especially with Toys for Tots. Every year, it seems to be the thing where I'm like, I feel like I'm sitting at the roulette wheel.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm just watching it spin, and it's just like, oh, sunny day, oh, rain, possible snow. And I'm just watching that ball click, 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 click. And
it's
I'm
like
just waiting
playing
for the day to come.
The 21 game where they keep giving you cards, and you're like slowly flipping it, going, "Come on, ace," or something nice, and you're like, "Dude." Oh.
And that's the biggest issue, though. I mean, you're talking just in the past couple of days. Look at what has gone on. We have felt very cold in the past few 4 or 5 days. We've got warm weather outside. That's actually heating up right now outside, where it's decent. You can actually drive. No heat, no AC.
Right.
The windows are down. It's pretty comfortable right now. And then the other night it was raining, and I felt like we were gonna have to turn the air conditioner back on. It was so warm.
Oh God! That's the thing up here, guys. It's almost like a curse. It happens every year, almost like clockwork. The moment it gets so hot that we go, look, we're going to take the ACs out because the cold air is coming through the ACs. That's the moment that it's going to, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, great, now it's 80 degrees out or something like that. And the thing is last year when we did the same thing, we wanted to put the ACs in. We put the ACs in, and it's all of a sudden it's like the heat can't keep up again because it's so cold. I'm like,
right.
Oh, I can't. But that's the thing. That was the big thing when I was welcomed up here to the state. Was the first guy. He comes in and he goes, if you don't like the weather, wait.
Yeah.
Now it's if you don't like the roads, wait.
Yeah.
Construction any minute now.
Well, I'll tell you what, if I am going to keep waiting on them to do the roads, I'll never leave my house again because I can't even imagine what goes on just over here. I've noticed the most of 44 is now looking pretty good out there.
Yeah, well, the improvements coming up your way, where you were coming up from, the road is absolutely
the other side, no
it's
good.
Beautiful. It's smooth as no over here, which
you're
coming from.
Yep.
Yeah, smooth as silk. It's so great to be able to have now I got my I'm finally putting the sway bars and the end links on now, so I can actually get my suspension as tight as I want. It's kind of weird for my cars,
right?
Each one
now
has
is that for the
both?
Oh, for both.
So so with the Genesis, it's a McPherson strut setup. So if I do it the wrong way, it's almost like reversed. It will push hard, right?
Okay.
But when you're on a rough road, that's now accentuated to the nth power because once one wheel comes up, you can actually lift one wheel off the ground if you're too tight.
Yeah.
And I already got the coil, so I'm very careful about that. And it also kind of sways, and I didn't like that sway thing. I wanted to tighten it right up. But with now this road being fixed over here, it's now the car is like, okay, now instead of feeling the deformation on the road, now I can feel it inside the car, and I'm going, okay, now I know what to focus on.
Right.
Okay, stiffen it here, loosen it here. With the Porsche, it's weird because the Porsche just goes when the heat. It drives like crap until the tires get warm.
Yeah.
And then it tightens up and it goes, okay,
good.
what do you want to do? Now I'm ready.
Yeah.
It's like that old dude waking up.
It's funny, though, that you say that because I kind of feel the same way with my car at times. And even though, being that it's, much newer, it's...
what do you have for tires?
Right now on the back, actually, funny enough, I can't even think of it off the top
Michelin?
of my head. No, so I went through Town Fair Tire. They were doing a deal. I know it sounds hilarious, but so for anybody who doesn't understand, and I'm sure I'm just relating it to the car, but the wheel itself and the tire specs.
Town Fair Tire just thanked you for that shout.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you ain't kidding.
That was a freebie. The next one's gonna cost.
Yeah, I was gonna say that this one right here is gonna cost them those 2 tires again. So they mounted and balanced and put all that into the 2 rear tires that I got from them. It cost me $500 and
wow.
I think it was like $560.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a steal.
And can I tell you what's so crazy? I know
it's definitely Continentals.
It's got to be. Yeah. It's nothing crazy by
Do they
any
make
means.
A lot of road noise?
No.
Okay.
I wouldn't be able to tell you anyway. I wouldn't even know.
Continental's good. Yeah, he's like that exhaust roaring in the back.
I'm like, what?
For you guys that don't remember, it's a year, make, and model on yours?
So it's a 2016 Cadillac CTS-V.
Yeah.
But so the rares are 305s. That's what I got from them.
Yeah.
So for that size tire,
seems like a really small tire for that car.
305?
Yeah,
really.
I don't know why. I feel like a 325 would be perfect for the back end of it.
I wish.
This is a car that did Nürburgring.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So it's like it has really good handling. So.
Yeah. No, and I'll tell you what. You'll laugh. So the first CTS-V that I had a few of the second gens, but the second gen CTS-V, the factory rear tire was 285.
Wow.
And now the new one is a 295. I put the 305 on it.
That just seems so... yeah.
And
you know what? Now I remember looking
But from the back, it does look like a pretty big tire. I mean, if you're looking at it at that, at that nice angle, you're sitting behind me at a light. I mean, the tires do look pretty big.
Yeah. Because I'm using Pirelli P0 Corsas, I think it is.
Yeah.
And these tires have been on there for a long time. And I didn't beat them up too bad. They need to be heated up.
Okay.
You don't get, and that's the thing is I would not. I drove it once in inclement conditions, let's call it, and not just. It does rain really well. I was amazed at how well it does rain. But yeah, if it snow,
forget it.
Yeah, it's skating. It's like even when they're because I don't think they ever heat up. Like they kind of grip, but then the second you keep cycling through it because you're not going fast in the snow. The other thing is I'm a plow anyway, so there's no, you know what I mean? Like stay away from me. I'm at my 7th bumper for a reason, and ice has only taken out one of them that I'm aware of. So
that's not too bad.
Perfect. So guys, we're going to cut into a break right here. We're going to be right back with you. This has been a great show. We're going to keep talking about all the crazy stuff that's going on in the car community. Give us 2 minutes, and we'll be right back.
All right.
Silver City Soapworks. Only the best for your skin. Grab yours today. www.silvercitysoapworks.com.
Look, okay, so we're back. Poor Matt over here. He was like expecting something. I'm like, you can't hear anything because it's nothing. It's nothing to hear. But dude, these are called learning curves.
We're doing our own commercials over here, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I didn't understand.
So I gotta get. Huge problem here was we've been working on the studio for a long time, and doesn't it look nice?
I like it.
This is like top. I mean, I kind of feel professional, right?
I really got to say, everything in here goes well together. I like the layout. I like the scheme. I think it's a very, very nice place to operate from. Feels good.
Right, exactly. Well, do you know what that is right over there?
It's probably a really expensive wheel that's no longer in use.
What's that? Oh, my soda's in the way? Okay, cool.
Uh-oh.
Here you go. So I knew that this thing was going to get in the way.
Yeah, this run is sponsored to you by SodaStream.
Right. This right here is one of the winningest teams this year that has been in racing and GT. I'm going to just say GT racing in general has been the Turner Motorsports team.
Okay.
This is actually one of the rear tires or rear wheels from their setup from one of their winning cars this year.
Wow.
And they were nice enough to hand one over and say, give it to us and say you want something to display in the showroom. And I was like, yeah, the whole team is a great bunch of guys. Sean is one of the coolest dudes. Like tire change. If you've seen that, I think were you on the show when we interviewed him?
I believe so.
Yeah. So when we interviewed him, it was really cool to have somebody that's does tire changing, knows all the stuff. Like people shout NASCAR guys, don't get me wrong, are really held to this really tight standard because they're very athletic. You have to be on point. But it's so interesting to see these teams because it kind of reminds me of those early days of racing because everybody is into the stuff that they're doing. You just don't do one thing. You're a professional all around. So that was his gift to the channel. I wanted to go out to their Lime Rock showing.
Yeah.
But we didn't get to make it out to it. Next year, I definitely want to make it a priority to
maybe make a cruise out there.
Yeah, to go out and see them race and see their team and everything. I mean, you can't. Having come from a racing background, I've hung out with a bunch of teams. Like I've been around when Dale Earnhardt Sr. was testing. I've been out when winning teams were in our backyard, and Ed Wood's team was one of the 21 Sitco team at the time. Was probably one of the friendliest people, down to earth, drive up to their country. And it's so funny because you're in the South, everything is, it seems like everything is small and peaceful. And then you go to this place and it's like they're building these race cars and it's this huge thing that is just like, where did this come from? Yeah. It's like this gigantic factory that, it would be like walking into Apple in like the middle of Minnesota or something. You're like, where did this come from?
Right.
But that's the thing is super professional, super friendly, amazing staff. Like everybody is on point. You just if you want to be a winning person and not just on the winning part of it, it's just saying I want to succeed in life. Or succeed in racing. That is anything that you want to do in your life that says, hey, I want to be the best. Go find people that are the best at what they do. And that's the Ed team. Obviously the old the DEI Earnhardt teams, that kind of thing. But Turner, somebody local in New Hampshire, and talk to these guys and just absorb how they think. Yeah. It is these things are not run. This is, everybody thinks about, I do my job, I stay keep my head low and that kind of stuff. No, what ends up happening is you put yourself in a position where you're not making friends and you're not building a team.
Right.
They don't know how to construct teams. So when you and I say, hey, we want to build a team, this is what we're banging against. Right. We're banging against and not to, we're giving fast food mentality.
Right.
Hey, keep your head low. Don't do this, this corporate thing. So
I hate to say it, but some people will disagree with me, and that's fine. I feel like right from the time that we first start going to school and that we first start being, students of school, that we're kind of taught to follow the rules, not to say anything, sit there, shut up. It's like, you don't want to make mistakes. There's only one right answer.
Right.
And that I think is what leads a lot of people into the work world of just making it by bare minimum. They don't, don't talk back. They never ask for a raise.
You're going to love this story then. You ready?
Let me hear it.
So we had somebody we knew that was in school. I forgot what place it was at. Okay. Now, even if I did know, I probably wouldn't name it.
That's right.
Because I'm sure people, well, that's the thing is somebody would probably light them up if they found out about it.
Yeah, right.
So they had a student.
Maybe come here too.
Yeah, right. They had a student that was doing math tests or doing math things. And the teacher kept marking the person wrong. So the kid brought his schoolwork home and says, I don't understand. It's 2 + 2 is 4. What's the problem I'm doing, right?
Right.
So they called the teacher on the phone and said, hey, I understand that you're marking my student. I see that you've noticed that you marked this question wrong. But when we looked at the test scores are right. So if they did the math, 5 times 3 is 15. I don't understand how you make a mistake with that. And the teacher said, we marked them wrong because they didn't do the math the way we wanted them to do it. And that horrified me. But it doesn't shock me because now we have the system of you and I are out here trying to show these people how to be successful. Not just how to run a successful this. And are we successful at everything? No, but that's why we bring up, hey, go check out the successful team. This is how to run a well-oiled group that has the same focus. They all trust each other. They have faith in everybody else. And at the end of the day, everybody walks home happy. Whenever you and I have done radio stuff or we've done podcasts, do I ever look at her like Jen and go like, hey, I don't think you're going to do a good job. I'm focused on the show. We're having a good show because I'm not worried about it.
By the way, she's doing a great job.
She is doing an amazing job. Thank you, Jen.
Don't let anybody tell you otherwise.
She still won't turn the volume up.
That's
Thank
right.
you.
See, maybe we need to get this over at 990.
Right. Poor Ryan. But yeah, that's the thing is so we have this faith and then we see it dialed in. Now imagine if I spent the whole show looking over at the screens and the monitors and going like, oh no, go higher, go lower, go do this. You can't do that right. You can't do this. She's never going to be able to use her creative juices. She's never going to be able who she wants to be. That stunts everybody's growth.
You want to hear a good one? This always is a good way to look at things.
Yeah.
It's nothing more than when you get hired by a company and your employer comes by and says to you, hey, you didn't do this right. You've been here a short time, but you'll get better with time. But then, they want you to be better with it at that moment.
Right.
So to tell somebody, hey,
they're not willing to train you. They're not willing to do whatever.
Right.
You didn't follow the script. Right. Therefore, you stink.
And now I kind of want to relate that right to the car mentality and the car world.
Oh, please. Yeah, I like this is analogy. I like this. Okay.
And I think this really works out well. You get your new employer.
Right.
They're telling you you'll do better with this in time, but now they're asking you to do better now.
Right.
So I think that's a lot of the things, and to the people that are watching this, whether it be multiple car clubs or anybody at all, just using this as a lifestyle way to look at things. Yeah. You have all these car clubs that are doing things, and what happens, and of course you know it, and
I can fill in the blanks here.
I don't care who knows this or not or likes it or not.
Look at the same mistakes we keep making over and over. Again.
Right? So, for example, I have a group chat. It is, directly for Untamed, close people that need to know what's going on. Yeah, exactly. There you go. God, the secret's out.
It's man. Inside info.
So, needless to say, you'll understand this.
Yeah.
What do we see? We see a car club come out of nowhere. They create an event. They do something. We're like, wow, I would never do anything like this.
Yeah.
Not the way to go about things.
Right.
What do? We take a screenshot of it.
Yeah.
We send it to our chat. We all talk about it. Why would you do this? Why would you do that? Oh my God. Who would ever think that this is going to be a good idea?
We don't talk to the person.
Right.
Yeah.
So now here's that same mentality of where it's like, okay, here's this new employee.
Yeah.
We are the employer. You'll get better with time, but we want you to be better right now.
Right. Well, not only that, but I think we just said something important. And this is the problem I've seen, especially in the car world or the car business too, is that there's 3 managers. And the 3 managers will sit there and go, Harvey, you can't do it this way. You can't. You're choking the whole thing. You're messing it up. Go out there and go back to the customer and do it this way, right? And I've always said the car business should be easy. There's a guy that wants to buy a car and a guy that wants to sell a car. Where are we losing our strip here? If you're not, that's the thing is you're not an educated customer facing against an educated seller,
right?
And you're trying to go in, and what ends up happening is you go to Vegas and you go, I don't know what is in the deck. I'm trying to stack the deck. Well, you don't yell at the dealer. He never gets, he's just throwing the cards at you.
Yeah.
This guy doesn't know what the deck is either because you're stacking it.
Yeah, right.
So if you come in educated,
your power goes out. You're not going to call your electrician and start screaming at him, right?
Right. Now that's the thing is when I went and bought the Genesis, I said, I know what you guys paid for the car. I'm willing to do this and I'm willing to do that. And here's what I want for the price. And this is the car I need. Go find it. Bring it to me. We have a deal. I went to one dealership. It was a 3-minute process. They were like, oh, hold on 2 minutes. Yep. We found it here. We're going to go pick it up. How much you putting for the deposit? Here's the money. And we go, right? So the thing here's this salesperson who is banging against somebody who literally does not know how to buy a car. That's the trick. So that person goes back to the sales manager desk, says, hey, the world is falling apart. I don't know what I'm doing. He's completely lost. And they say, I want you to do better, and I want you to do better now. We don't have a problem saying that. Just do it better now. Right. So they send the guy back out. Now, when he's walked out of the room, what do you think the managers are saying? That dude will never make it. He can't cut the mustard. He can't do it. When did anybody take the second to pull this guy aside and go, hey, sit down, sell me a car? And I'm going to be the objector, but just sit down with me and I'm going to do some objections. And I want you to get comfortable playing the game of poker without any money at stake before I send you out to the wolves. And really all we do is, here's the little 4-square thing, and this is how to do it. And throw them to the wolves and go, I don't understand why people are drowning. Not everybody can swim in the 10-foot pool. Doesn't mean that they're not going to be the next American athlete, Right. So
and also too, I think another big issue that comes from that is like we're sitting here saying the same thing with multiple car clubs, multiple car groups. It's like, okay, do better now. Right. But at the same time, you also have to always remember, and as I say multiple times, I feel a week, if not a day. It's it comes down to the new almost clientele, as I call it, to the car scene, the car world. It's almost like you are bringing in a customer, as you said. It's very tough. It's a difficult thing because now you have people that are growing up on different just ideas of what is acceptable or what is cool or whatever. Because of course,
the problem is none of us are right.
Right. Oh yeah. Anybody's style can be what it wants to be. But I'm saying, but if you're going through like an era time, obviously the I'm sure 60s and 70s up to even the 90s was probably more of a muscle car thing. And then you hit the late 80s to the 90s. Now you've got all these imports and tuners, and that became a thing.
I'm going to do one better for you, because this is something I definitely was thinking about bringing up to you, because you'll get this and you'll understand it. But I'm going to put it on the table right now. I'm going to play the cards that I have, and say I've had the same hand of cards since the late 70s, early 80s. It doesn't matter which car you drive.
Oh, right.
It's never mattered. The thing that, people thought, and that's the problem with the social media world we have, you think that success is having 1,000, 2,000 followers on your page, when in reality, the question I ask are why our events always did better and others didn't, was because I looked over and I said, what do we offer? You see what I'm saying? What's the aligned goal? Where's the point where I go, I'm going to get a discount on hey, most of the clubs that you want, let's say it's a VIP club, right? The thing will be luxury cars. It'll be the luxury accoutrements like the wine glasses. Even in our executive car community, it was, I want to do wines. I want to do the picnic tables. I want to do all this stuff. I want to know how to make my car into something, if not improve the car that I have. And then I want the wheels. I want the tires. I want the tent guy. I want a guy that can upkeep and clean it.
Right.
Go to any VIP club out there and show me where you can get. I'm sure you're going to get a group of people who can share that thing. So if I'm in my 944 club and I go, this is why I'm in the 944 club. I need a visor. I need sun visor for the car because the other one blew up. Okay, somebody's got one.
Oh, right. Absolutely.
Excuse me. I know, right? But that's the thing is that notice that has value. Why does it have value? Even if I don't hang out with those guys, I'm going to need a visor. I'm going to need a wastegate. I'm going to need. It's a car that breaks down. That's
Absolutely.
life. And the thing is I'm going to be able to ask somebody, this thing is overheating. Why is it overheating? Is it the fans? Is it this other thing? And yeah, you're going to get some junk advice, but in the whole, you're going to be able to piece some of that information and pull it together.
Right.
So the thing that I look at these clubs and I go, I had a club that will go unnamed, a recent club that had meets that got broke up by police, who obviously wanted me to be a member because of...
Oh, my God. Are you telling me these people were doing stuff without permission?
No, I would never say that. But anyway, so they want me to be a member. And then I look over and I go, you have to buy a sticker. You have to buy a shirt. You have to buy the thing. You have to wear that on your car. Okay, so here's all these, now you got requirements. It's not just come in and get your patch, you know what I mean? Like your whatever thing. You got to do your thing to get, And I'm like, okay, that's fine. So I said, before I do all this, because obviously I have sponsors. I have people that I put on my car because they pay me to put stuff on my car, hype them up in a commercial or put them on my show. And that's the thing is, so what are you guys going to give to me? What's the bonus of being a part of your group? Oh, we have family. We have friends. We have some events that we do. Okay, so what makes your event different from Untamed? Do you have a Toys for Tots event? Do you have a family of friends? Like in Untamed, I have one guy that races. I have one guy that does a car show car, one guy that does the domestic car, one guy that... There's always something in there, somebody I can talk to or ask a question to. Or I go, hey, I need somebody to show up for a car show. We're going to do a drive out. Do you guys want to come out and... You know what I mean? Somebody's going to have my back. For this group, I looked at it and I said, none of these people are going to care about me. I am an outlier among this group. And there's some other groups that are muscle car groups. I love them to death. I'm friends with them. I hang out with them. They want me to be members. I go, you're members. We're friends, but I don't think we're family. And that community thing that's in that is very important because if I'm going to dedicate, I need to be able to put in something to the club as well. If we're going to have a community, it's as much a give as it is much a take.
Right.
So what the problem is, and I think we even saw it with something that you were handling once, was we have a guy that I'm not getting enough out of the group because I want to be leader. I jump ship. I say I'm going to do everything different. I don't do everything different. I do everything exactly the same. In fact, I do it worse because I'm brand new. I'm popping fresh. Then I go out and do all this other stuff. And then now we've derived the community. Now we split it off, but we haven't made a better tree.
Right.
We're just repeating the same mistakes that we said we'd never do that. I'm gonna make a car show and I'm gonna have better judges. Well, like, how do you do that?
Exactly. And one of my biggest things, with the car community, the car clubs, and I've said this a lot. In my group chat, I would say there's about 15 people.
Yeah.
So now, if you take 3 groups of 4, that would put you at 12.
Right.
And now you have 3 people left over.
Mm-hmm.
Math. So if
my
head. Yeah, right. This is why I need that board. You know what I mean? The little.
This
sound
is why
effects.
iPhone has a calculator. Just saying.
Yeah,
for me,
it helps me out every now and again.
Right.
Those big numbers.
Right.
But so the way I look at it as, it's like, okay, now you've got 15 people in this chat, 3 groups of 4. These 4 people hang out together. These 4 people hang out together, and these 4 people hang out together.
Yeah.
Now these last 3 people, they're like loners. They're just in it. They don't have any specific group.
Yeah.
They're not tied to one person.
Right.
They're not in here because of this person.
Yep.
And I think a lot of times the issue that comes from that, and even like in my own group and just some of the things that we've dealt with over the years, you're never going to get everybody to be friends with everybody.
Right.
And I've said this time and time again. There should not be a reason why 2 people cannot say what they think is right and be able to just kind of let it go.
Right. Well, at least entertain the thought, or just say, you know what, I'm going to keep my mind open to that. Or, you know what, there's certain times when I look at somebody and I go, I understand that they think that they're going to do this to the engine and that's going to make more horsepower, when in reality they could spend the same money and put a supercharger on and that's going to be their power band. Right. Or, you know what, maybe that's just a car that you shouldn't be toying around with the engine because it's so well balanced anyway.
Right.
There are times when I look at people and I hear them jumping on, like, I had this one friend that will look at all my Lamborghini friends and tell them they needed turbos on their car. He owned an S2000. I'm like, dude, right. You've never done the work. You don't even know what kit works. But you're sitting here advising everybody of what to do.
Right.
Like, I've worked on that car. I know what that kit will do to that car. It'll burn out bank 2 ECUs like it's going out of style, but that's okay because, you know what I'm saying? You don't know. And that's somebody would come to me later, and now all that bad advice that he's given is out there in the loop. I can't get rid of it, but I can't. Okay, you know what? Go out and break your car.
Exactly, so. And not to, I'm just saying this, and again, something you will understand, others may not, but it is always easy to tell somebody to do something to a car when you're not the one actually doing it. And aside from that, it's always easy, like when someone comes up to me and they hit me with some crazy, ridiculous mod for my car. Right. And I'm not trying to sound rude. No. But if you are telling me to do this $5,000 mod to my car that is going to make it a ridiculous, straight line, track monster, whatever.
Right.
You're telling me this while you're driving a Toyota Camry,
right?
While you're driving a Jeep.
Well,
Wrangler.
It's social media hype,
exactly, and it's one of those things where it's like, it's hard to say, and not that a Camry or a Wrangler is a problem. Just throwing out there as an example, right? But it's just the fact that you're trying to tell somebody something that you have no relation to.
Right.
It would be one thing if you said, "Oh my God, I have this ZR1 Camaro, same year as yours. You got to do this. Oh my God, it's great."
Yeah.
Okay, I could understand, but it's like if you haven't even done it yourself.
Well, it's all social media hype. Like, it's the idea of buying into that. So let's say I do very good at advertising, and if I'm promoting my product good enough, then other people are going to jump on that bandwagon and say, "Man, that's a great idea." No, selling the product. No, it's not the best for everybody. But somebody calls me up and says, "Hey, I want to do this to my car." I'm going to be like, "Hey, yeah, not something you want to do." Right. Like, I want to see people that, they put a raw welt on their Porsche, and I want to look at them and say, that guy, they talk to the guy and go, "Look, I'm just going to let you know I'm tearing the fenders out. I'm going to start sawing stuff. I'm going to tear the car apart, and once you've done it, it doesn't ever go back. That's it. It's done." And I think that's the thing is people are honest with that. But when you go into the group and this is the way things are going to be, they could mess it up. Now, the problem that I see with that, too, is that now we have people who go, "I can run it better." And you go, "Okay, let me see where you ran it better." "I've never run it better." Okay, well, maybe you want to, before you split your group up the first year, maybe the best idea is to kind of ride with that group for a certain amount of time. Like the hot rod guys. I'm not a member of their clubs. I wish I was. I wish I was a member of all of their clubs. It's like there's nonstop of like, these guys know how to do it right. The low riders, the hot rods, the guys that come together on focus goals. The creeps right now putting together a car that they're going to give for the hot rodders that they all came together to build a car so that they can give that car out to the proceeds that they're going to raffle it off to goes to Children's Hospital.
Wow. Nice. Very good. That's a great cause.
But what does it take to be an organized group that can put that together and just would you be able? I know right now I could.
As a matter of fact, actually, you know what I mean. I'll just throw this out there, and at this point, I think I've gotten to a level with the group where it's starting to become like more of a where I'm speaking the truth instead of trying not to hurt people's feelings. And it was kind of like what you were saying earlier about bringing the right group of people together. Yeah. And I've said this from day one, and a lot of people might not understand Untamed or what it was prior to that and why it has become what it is.
Yeah,
I based the group off of the people, not what they drove.
Right.
So it never mattered to me if somebody had 1,000 horsepower, if they had 200 horsepower. I didn't care if you drove a Honda. I didn't care if you drove a Toyota. It doesn't matter to me now. It didn't matter to me then. But I just will say, some people have taken things way beyond where they need to be, way beyond certain levels and lines, because you have to also know where you stand. You know, I mean, you can't go up to somebody with a freaking LP 640 and try to tell them about how, you know, the $35,000 you spent is in anywhere near comparison. But it's not.
But you're the perfect example of somebody that came in and said, you know what, I'm going to try this and see where it goes. And has this been the steepest learning curve of your life?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And even into what I was just saying, as far as like coming back to the chat, it comes down to, you know, people where they just need to hear the reality of things sometimes, where it's like, oh, I'm going to go and, you know, put new rims and tires on the car. I'm going to gain 100 horse. Whoa, where is this logic coming from? You know, I mean, and of course, I'm not saying that people are, as you're talking like that, I'd have to get Riddy out of my chat. You ever said something like that? But, you know, it's just the fact that people really need to understand that it's just, there is classifications to things, I think, and unfortunately it'll always be there, but it doesn't mean you can't come together. And that's why I tried to kind of hit a happy medium with things.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. So, all right, wait, it was like, yeah, we lost the camera down. So, but yeah, we're going to close it up for then. We got 5 minutes anyway, so we're going to close that up. We want to thank everybody for tuning in. I want to thank Matt here for coming out. This has been amazing. We're going to do more of this in the future. We're hoping to have you about for more stuff. And everybody should be looking forward to that Sunday event. Yes. And seeing the stream from Matt here. Where's it going to be broadcast?
Yeah, so I will have all of mine on either Untamed Auto Club, Untamed Northeast Auto Club. Those are both on Facebook. You can also follow us at Untamed Auto Club on
what we'll do
Instagram
too
as well.
We'll share their your video too on Executive Automotive Society.
Absolutely,
so
absolutely.
People can check
so
it
yeah,
out.
That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a like a simulcast video chat. I'm gonna record it on the phone, and then I will keep posting it after.
We'll compare toy bins.
yeah, we'll do that. And but so I know you'll do the same for me. If you are joining us, it will be this Sunday, November 7th. It is from 10 to 3 p.m. It is at 1170 Bald Hill Road in Warwick, and that is also Detail Garage Warwick. We look forward to seeing you there. And if you're not joining me, you'll be joining Alan.
Yep. We're gonna be doing it north end. Anyway, all right,
done. That's it. You know what? Hey,
I've already sent the invites to these guys, so if you don't show up, that's you guys' problem. And if you're not part of the group already, find a way to join. We'd be happy to have you. Thank you guys for tuning in. This has been the Executive Automotive Society for Carside Chat. This is your host Primo, and as always, Caddy Matt or Matt. Say it.
Matty and the Caddy.
Matty
CTSV
and the Caddy.
Matt. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Anymore.
So check out. So you guys on YouTube, check out these other videos. The other guys, check out some of the other stuff on the podcast, and we'll talk to you next time. You guys have a great day. See you soon. Bye.